So this week, I don't know if you guys have all been watching Canada's Drag Race, but Judge Jeffrey Boyer Chapman told one of the queens, Alona Verley, quote, "When I see that booty and a little turnaround, a little full coverage foundation may have helped you out," sort of, end quote, sort of saying like that there should have been foundation on her
Ass.
On her very bare ass, like her human ass. Was this an appropriate thing, Monique Heart, as someone who's been through this process, and as someone who is very much a superstar drag queen? Was this an okay thing for him to say?
I'm going to say it surely was, because you are going on stage.
Mm-hmm.
And if, as someone who went through it, like you just said, Michelle Visage said to me on All Stars, she says, because you're a person of color, your things have to match as close as possible. So I had skin tone, nude illusion, plus pantyhose, right? Which were 3 different skin tones. So it's all about the finished look. So if you're like, oh, from the front, I'm looking great, and I'm looking stunning, and then you turn around and you have the flattest of asses and the paste, like put some foundation on it. And J-Lo does it, a little spray on pantyhose, put some bronzer in it. Like that's what they do. Why? Because your legs, it's the finished product. Like that's what it is. You're going on the show and they're going to judge you accordingly. And he was damn right. Sasha Velour paints the back of her damn head, so you can't paint your ass. Sit down.
But isn't this like a bigger question in the queer community concerning his judgment?
No, they have a problem that he is a black man in power talking to white queens. Because if they really have an issue, then Michelle Visage should have been chopped years ago. She's still there. Let's remember that she called Dita Ritz ashy, which enabled cis white gay men to therefore say that to her. So I'm just saying, if we are going to stand 10 toes down, this is what it is.
This is not the take I expected.
Well, I have a question though.
I love it.
I know, it's interesting.
Is there anything, Monique, to the fact that while I agree with you wholeheartedly, is there anything to the fact that Michelle Visage has a history and a relationship with the drag community, whereas Jeffrey Boyer Chapman is an actor and a model?
This is the reality is that Jeffrey's queer. So Jeffrey's been to, we don't know who's in his life. We don't know what drag queens or whatever. And so we just assume, oh, he's just some gay man that started wearing eyeshadow. Now all of a sudden he has an opinion. Well, then we can say that to the fans who say horrible, trashy ass shit to us on a regular basis, plus sending us death threats because they just started watching the show. And now all of a sudden they have such an opinion because once again, they're only speaking from the perspective of their so-called favorite, which is predominantly white, who has had tons of money, who can come out so-called, pseudo-perfected, perfect, like Aquarius, she came out puss. But the bitch had connections and doors that Monet didn't have, I didn't have, Asia didn't have. So the difference is there's going to be a massive difference. What's her name? Iona, the lovely young girl from Canada. A spray on pantyhose, sis. And for this one reason, his comment wasn't out of pocket because what she is telling the world now is that she is a trans woman who did not fully voice her truth and da-da-da-da-da. So on any level, if you knew that, then you should have had a spray on pantyhose because that's what women do.
I'm speechless because I didn't think you were going to say this.
My takeaways is that if people dislike Jeffrey Boyer Chapman, then I don't know if I'm cut out for this business because he was the lane I was trying to follow.
Jay, you are a vast improvement on that young girl.
He didn't say anything out of pocket, and I think we sit at home and we would say the same thing, like, girl, put foundation on that. Like, just spray on pantyhose.
It seems like throughout the course of the season, Monique, people have been had problems with the way he speaks to the queens in general.
But he gives
do you think that's a real thing?
But he gives you shade. It is a show. Here you go. Canada Drag Race, Thailand Drag Race. It is a business, it is a show, and it is a part of show business. So when you get to the show, you better be ready to conduct business. You cannot take those critiques personal. As someone who did, and that it really fucked me up coming out of it. You cannot take it personal, and fans can't take it personal when your pseudo superstar is getting read, for the back row, because the reality is, it is a finished product. When you go to a Marvel film, you know what you are going to get. you know there's going to be a certain level of excellence, and that's what Drag Race on any platform is. It is a level of excellence. You looking
Except
at RuPaul?
for Iron Man 2, but yes.
Oh, well, okay, but you see, there at least was a budget. You know what I
Scarlett
mean?
Johansson had a shake and go wig in that bitch.
You were wowed by the effects.
Boom.
Yes.
But at least the trailer made you feel good, you know?
They had
Monique
spray
is
on
saying,
pantyhose.
If you don't love me at my brown cow, you don't get to love me at my stunning.
That part, also her look was bad. The chaps were like cut too high. It was not fashion. It was very, very flat. It wasn't cinch. It didn't give her a silhouette. Like at the end of the day, it should be a shape. You know what I mean? Shapes are shapes, but it should be a shape. And box is not one that is serving fashion.